Good evening and thank you for joining us. Election Day is fast approaching. Voters head to the polls on Thursday, and tonight we're wrapping up our profiles of the regional candidates. We recently spoke to some of those vying for the Kiiwetinoong seat at Queen's Park. Justin Hardy brings us this riding profile.
There's just a few days until Ontarians head to the polls. Candidates in Kiiwetinoong say they are ready to stand up for the riding.
People in Kiiwetinoong, we are Northerners, no matter our backgrounds.
And let's work for people and coming up with some solutions.
But there is a solid plan on our platform, which is already costed.
Attempting to hold the Kiiwetinoong seat on behalf of the NDP is incumbent Sol Mamakwa. He's represented the Far North riding since 2018. He was re-elected in 2022 and has served as the deputy leader of the Ontario NDP. He says it's hard to pick just one issue faced by the people of their riding.
I think mental health is a big issue, but also addictions and the safety of the communities. And I know that we know there's a housing crisis in the north, and I mean it's all over Canada, it's all over Ontario, but it's more significant than the further north you go.
Manuela Michelizzi ran for the Liberals in Kiiwetinoong in 2022, and she's once again trying to claim the seat for the Liberals. Michelizzi is an acting vice principal in Sulikout and says her top priority is bringing more housing to the riding.
We have so many wonderful job opportunities for people, and yet there's no place for professionals to live. Working here in a school, we have so many jobs available. I know there are tons of jobs available in the healthcare sector. And we just don't have places for people to live. We don't have the affordable housing.
Representing the Green Party in Kiiwetinoong is Carolyn Spicer. Before entering politics, she worked as a fish and wildlife technologist for the Ministry of Natural Resources. Spicer says her top priority is access to healthcare for the region.
It's very difficult to get an appointment. There's waiting lists. You have to call back the next month to get an appointment, or you can maybe get a phone appointment, but those fill up. So the healthcare, especially in a remote area, we don't have the full slot of doctors that we are scheduled to have.
The Progressive Conservative candidate for the Kiiwetinoong riding, Waylon Scott, was not made available for a media interview. The other candidate in the riding is Teresa Lepich of the Northern Ontario Party. Justin Hardy, TBT News.
And TBT's provincial election coverage continues tomorrow evening right after the news hour at 7 p.m. on CKPR Thunder Bay. We'll bring you issues and answers, taking a look first at the candidates in Thunder Bay Atikokan. That will be followed with the Thunder Bay Superior North hopefuls at 7:30. Well, despite the relatively warm weather this weekend, Grace Place held its annual Coldest Night of the Year fundraising walk yesterday. It raises money for the Grace Place shelter that helps fight hunger and homelessness. Participants first gathered at the Summit Church on North Syndicate Avenue before embarking on the 11th annual walk, which is the biggest fundraiser for Grace Place. The walkers then headed out toward Grace Place on Simpson Street and then back to Summit. Grace Place Executive Director Gary Maximchuk says the walk is vitally important to the center, and he continues to be blown away by the level of support.
This year it's been overwhelming with the support that we've had from the City of Thunder Bay. Our goal of $100,000 was surpassed. We're at $110,000, and we have 418 walkers, and we were only expecting about 300 people. So it's amazing. It's amazing to see the heart of the people of Thunder Bay and their heart for the homeless and hurting, and by raising this much money. So it's really exciting to see.
And it's not too late to donate to the cause. Grace Place is accepting donations on its website until March 31st. Nishnawbe Aski Nation's annual 3-day youth gathering wrapped up in Thunder Bay today. It provided young people from across Nan territory with the chance to engage in workshops, storytelling, and other initiatives. Jenna Chilton has the details.
The annual Nishnawbe Aski Nation Youth Conference was held at the Best Western Nor'Wester this weekend and brings 2 youth from all 49 Nan communities to participate. The gathering lasts 3 days and has workshops, cultural learning activities, and keynote speakers. Oshkarisak Youth Council member Summer Wabas says it's a great opportunity for youth to learn the skills that will help them in life.
This conference is such an amazing opportunity for NAN youth to come to the city and get to meet people from other communities and get a bit outside of their comfort zone.
The workshops are designed to set youth up for a successful future. Some of them were financial literacy, empowerment, Indigenous astronomy, land-based learning, importance of grassroots and community work, and language. NAN Youth Cultural Camps coordinator Tyler Faubert, who ran the land-based learning workshops, says it's important to connect the youth back to their outdoor teachings.
It's so important to build, develop, and foster a connection in our young people to that land. There's so much, you learn so much when you're out there, not only about the land, but about yourself. And there's so much healing to be had out there. Survival situations. When you're out on the land, we always hear stories, of people who go out in the wintertime and then they don't come back that night. So then we got to go find them. Everybody gets together and, it's for those moments that we try to prepare people so that we have a positive outcome to that story.
This year's gathering theme was telling your stories. Many of the youth and youth council members were given the opportunity to share their stories, teachings, and culture. Waba says it's not necessary to go to youth conferences to get involved with your community and be a leader, but youth are always encouraged to participate and help lead their fellow youth.
I think that it's a really empowering conference. It's really great that NAN brings in so many different role models for people to look up to. And it provides a really safe space for youth to take those healthy risks and be empowered.
Emma Chilton, TBT News.
Ontario's Special Investigations Unit is probing a police incident in Sioux Lookout on Friday. Around 7 p.m., Ontario Provincial Police responded to a call about a grocery store robbery. According to the SIU, the officers found a 29-year-old suspect a short distance away. After unsuccessfully trying to negotiate with him, an officer deployed an anti-riot weapon, which can launch a variety of projectiles like plastic bullets or batons. The man wasn't seriously injured, but the SIU is called in whenever an officer fires that kind of weapon. A new office was opened in Kenora this month. It's intended to better connect the city with First Nations people across that district. It officially opened its doors a few weeks ago on the first floor of City Hall. Officials hope the new office will create better relationships between people of all cultures. The office has an open door policy and anyone who calls Kenora home is welcome. That's according to Kenora's Indigenous Relations Advisor, Ed Mandaman. He hopes the office can help the city celebrate its rich cultural diversity.
We also want to bring some more cultural stuff. But again, Kenora has such a wide cultural base people. We're not only Indigenous, but we also have large Filipinos, we have Italians, we have Ukrainians, we have Germans. So we want to celebrate all those cultures, not just the one culture, but we all live here together. So let's all celebrate together and let's make this place one heck of a place to grow up.
Kenora has also named its first city elder. Terry Green, a former band counselor and elder from nearby Nishnawbe Nation, will perform ceremonial duties like offer blessings when new developments break ground. A vital bridge connecting Kenora and the former town of Kiiwetinoong will have some essential work done in the coming months. Much of the preventative maintenance will be covered by $5.9 million from the province for that project, as will improvements to the intersection of Lakeview Drive and Minnesota Street. The work is expected to take place in late summer or early fall. Protective coating will be applied to the bridge's underside for rust protection. The City of Kenora has put out a tender for the bridge work. Depending on the final cost of the project, the city may have to put up some money for the repairs as well. Mayor Andrew Poirier says Kenora will cover any financial shortfall as maintaining the bridge is essential.
I mean, the work has to be done. We get audits on them every 2 or 3 years, and we do work on them on a regular basis. It's maybe not something that shows per se, but there's a lot of different pieces and parts to bridges that you maybe don't see, or it's not shiny, but you still are required to do it. And we do that on a regular basis on a lot of our bridges on an annual basis.
And the municipality will also have to perform similar work on the other 21 bridges in Kenora as well.